Hey everybody, welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast, and today what we're going over is our newly named storm. Tropical Storm Danielle is currently just developed in portions of the northern Atlantic Ocean. We also have two other systems that also could potentially develop into tropical storms over the next several days. So I'm going to give you the latest breakdown and everything that you need to know in this forecast. Let's first begin with our newly named tropical storm. This is Danielle. It's about 700 miles or so off to the east-northeast of Bermuda, so it is fairly far away from land, but it is actually now our first named storm in 60 days. By the way, August of this year was our first August since 1997 that we did not have a named storm in. So it's been a long time. Obviously, now we're on September 1st, so just a day after. But you can see as of right now, it is a tropical storm. Pretty decent circulation as well. You'll see that more in just a moment when we take a look at the more high-def infrared imagery. But as of right now, it is forecasted to become our first hurricane of the season even. It's actually forecasted to at least become a Category 1 hurricane, probably by sometime later this weekend, most likely. It is going to be very stationary. You can see all the tracks kind of over mingling with each other. That's mainly due to the fact this can be a very slow moving tropical storm. Eventually, it is forecasted to get to a strong hurricane, or at least a Category 1 hurricane as it moves off to the northeast, and it'll eventually pick up some speed. And this could potentially go towards areas for England. So that's kind of the current track as of right now. It is forecasted to move off to the east-northeast eventually. So this will be a system to watch for those over in Europe. But other than that, as of right now, it is not forecasted impact anywhere in the United States. Let's go to another area that we have pretty much a high chance of development as of right now. It has about an 80% chance of developing over the next 5 days, 50% chance within the next 48 hours. It is a pretty broad low pressure system that we're looking at here. It is Invest 91L. Pressure is right around 1,008, so we are not looking at too bad of a system, but it's just not organized, and the wind speed's also 34 miles per hour. That is technically tropical depression level. The only thing is it's not organized. It's a broad low pressure system. We'll watch this one closely though. It's going to be going towards the Lesser Antilles over the next several days. It might make some minor impacts to those areas, but a lot of computer models as of right now are tracking this, kind of take a little bit of a boomerang. So that would basically keep it from going towards Florida. Again, more on that here in just a moment. We also have another invest that we'll have to watch a little bit more long-term. It has a 30% chance of developing over the next 48 hours and as well as a 30% chance in the next 5 days. So it is not forecasted to really become anything significant, most likely at least beyond a couple days out. But one thing to note with this system, again, it's Invest 94L, sustained winds around 29 miles per hour, pressure 1,005. The only thing is, again, not overly organized. It is fighting off a little bit of cooler waters out this direction as well. But here's a better look at Tropical Storm Danielle. As of right now, a fairly decent circulation, and again, it's going to be very slow moving. That's going to allow it to have decent development over the northern Atlantic Ocean. But as of right now, convection, not the best, but it is definitely in a good stage as of right now. Again, it's going to be going very slow over the next several days, and it'll eventually kick up speed as it moves off to the northeast, possibly towards Europe, as I mentioned before, going into the long term. Again, that is several days out though from now. Here's a look at the intensity guide on Tropical Storm Danielle as of right now. Most computer models are bringing this to a bare minimum of a Category 1 hurricane. Now, beyond that, a few of them bring up to maybe a Category 2. One's kind of getting it very close to a Category 3. And again, the current forecast is that this will probably get to at least a Category 1 hurricane, if not maybe even a low-end Category 2 hurricane. So this might be something to watch. Obviously, right now, it becoming a major hurricane seems a bit far-fetched with its positioning as of right now, but it will be something to watch very closely, as I mentioned before, over the next several days. Here's a look at our other system. Again, very broad low pressure system as of right now. This is currently a few hundred miles to the east of the Lesser Antilles. This is a system that has serious convection. I mean, we're talking very strong thunderstorms and also pretty disorganized system still, but it is expected to, again, strengthen over the next several days, most likely becoming possibly a tropical depression or maybe even a tropical storm. So this will be a system to watch as it tracks out to the west-northwest. As I mentioned before, with this system, most computer models do take a boomerang on this. Now, the one thing to kind of keep in mind here, though, is that it will probably at least impact portions of the Lesser Antilles and potentially Puerto Rico. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that, again, it's going to probably take a big turn off to the north and northeast with a high pressure ridge kind of keeping it going that off to sea, basically. So it probably will not impact the United States at this given time. So very good news overall there. One thing to note, though, that this very well may become either a tropical storm or maybe even a hurricane. As of right now, a lot of computer models long-term, almost every single one is bringing it to at least a Category 1 hurricane from about 3 to 5 days from now. So obviously this will be something to watch for very closely again as well over the long term. Here's our last invest as of right now, Invest 94L, back out in the eastern Atlantic Ocean. Again, organization pretty far-fetched, as I mentioned before. It's not going to be a tropical depression, at least the next, I would say, 12 to 24 hours, but it might become something maybe a little bit beyond that. But most computer models are bringing this again out to sea, and it's basically not going to be coming towards at least least any of the lesser or greater Antilles. And again, fantastic news so far for this hurricane season. We've had a lot of great news for those in the United States and anywhere in the lesser and greater Antilles. Very fortunate year so far, but this system will be going off to the north and northwest most likely, or north and northeast, excuse me, most likely pretty soon. So it will not be going towards, it looks like, the United States at this given time. This system, again, is not forecasted to become anything beyond a tropical depression or maybe a weak tropical storm. All right, make sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you've not already. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting and All Dense Repair.